everybody and welcome to the flute practice. Today we're going to check out some really unusual tips and tricks to improving your breathing support and sound. So let's go check it out. Okay, so some of these tips I've actually spoken about. I'm going to leave the ones that I have spoken about for the end of the video so that those that have been watching videos regularly, can kind of stop and not get bored by things you've already heard. Something that I recently discovered with one of my students, and I think this is like such a kind of awesome way of really finding your support and what it means to kind of be more down into your knees and your hips rather than kind of locking your knees back and like standing up straight, is to practice standing or balancing on one leg. So what you can do, I'm just going to take a simple G major scale and I'm standing on one leg here. And what I find is that the second I'm trying to balance, my knee automatically kind of releases down, my hip kind of automatically releases down, and I find that sort of center of gravity, admittedly at this point, over one leg. Instead of being locked back like this, which makes it quite a bit more difficult to balance, you're suddenly releasing the weight down. It's also a really nice way to kind of distract you mentally. So if you're a person that tends to overthink things, try practicing a difficult passage on just one or the other leg. Also just helps you kind of switch this off and really get into your body. But I find this is a really wonderful way to feel the support and the breathing, simple little trick. Another really awesome technique that you can use to really improve your breathing, sound and support is to sit on a chair and to open up your knees like this. And release your full upper body weight into your knees, resting on your elbows like this. And what you really want to do is you want to make sure that your back isn't kind of arching like this, but really that it is relaxed and as a result quite straight actually, and really just full weight into your legs. And then from this position, take a breath. So you just breathe in nicely. And what you'll feel is your belly kind of goes down towards your legs, and your lower back particularly, you'll feel how it expands so amazingly. And I find this is such an amazing way to experience this deep kind of lower abdomen breathing. Now in this position, you can actually take your flute and play and really kind of integrate this breathing, or this deep breathing, into your flute play. What you might notice is that your sound is actually a whole lot better. And that's because your support is suddenly engaged properly, because you're taking that nice breath that just allows your stomach to go out nicely, and it's able to just support that sound awesomely. I find just before I'm about to kind of take a step, my body actually does the most natural thing. You'll really feel how your whole body kind of goes down. My knees kind of release, my hips release, and I take a step. I always say, try and take a step with like tense knees and tense hip and see, you'll kind of end up walking like a penguin. So you can do two things. First step I'd say is just to take a scale and kind of like walk around the room. So just feeling how your body is kind of really naturally just free. Obviously it's very impractical to walk around on stage while you're performing, can you imagine? Unless, you're doing some like really cool kind of cross collaborative, or something. No. So you want to kind of harness this feeling just before you're about to take a step in your playing. So what I suggest you do, you can do this kind of largely with imagination. You pick up your flute and just imagine as if you're about to take a step. And do this kind of with the in-breath. It's quite nice. So you just sort of so that you just kind of get in that feeling seconds before you take the step of that going down. Now, this is not like bending the knees, because you're going to create tension again. So you're not going to play like that. It's also silly. It's just really about releasing so that you can kind of just get a little bit of movement in there. Of course, a really classic technique, and I've probably done this more times than I can count, is the good old back against the wall, bending the knee, bending the knees. I tend to kind of put one foot like this behind the other and just feeling down here. And what is really important is to make sure here that the back, lower back, is really flat against the wall. And from there, trying to also keep my head, not pushed back, but relaxed back at the very least. And picking up the flute, turning slightly off to the side. Don't continue playing like this, it's very uncomfortable. So allowing for that natural side movement and really feeling how the back also flattens up against the wall as you play. And once again, this is not a feeling of forcing back. It's not like forcing to the back of the wall. It's really just a feeling of releasing and allowing. The last thing I really want to just kind of look at is using our imagination. Now, I've done this exercise briefly in other videos. I want to kind of walk you through the process of it in a little bit more detail. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand nicely, really feeling as best we can that kind of nice support, released knees, released hips. And we're going to close our eyes and imagine that behind us is this beautiful big concert hall. So imagine the most beautiful, big, amazing space that you can imagine. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine you're going to lift up your flute, choose a note right now. This is going to be hopefully the last time your brain's really going to think actively about something. So I'm going to choose high G, beginning of Brahms, well, not beginning of Brahms 1, but Brahms' first symphony. There's that beautiful flute solo and we need a really full sound for it. So choosing that high G. Now what I'm going to imagine is that I want to fill this massive hall behind me, that massive space, I want to fill with this incredible big sound. All I'm going to think about is how the sound is going to fill this beautiful big space. I'm not going to think about how I'm going to do this. You're probably going to start thinking when I say this, but in a minute we're going to pick up our flutes and play a note and you need to stop thinking. You just need to imagine that big, massive sound that fills that space. That's all you're going to do. So hold on to this imagination. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Then without thinking, you're thinking stop. Okay, lift up. And just allow whatever comes out, come out. If it doesn't work the first time, maybe try it again. Try it again. See if you can shut off the brain more and more. I find honestly, in front of a camera, y'all are watching, I find it already, I'm already starting to think a little bit more like, what if, but what if, but how am I going to do this realistically? What am I doing? So I'm going to try it again one more time as well. Really just imagining that big space, that huge hall. And allowing the sound. When I first did this exercise, I found my body just naturally knew what to do. It just did it. It was incredible. And I think this is incredible how your body actually knows what it needs to do. It's just we kind of like get in the way here when we're like, I gotta think about this and logically this. Switch it off sometimes. Allow the imagination to take control and allow your body to do its thing. All right, everybody, that was just some, slightly unusual fun tips to really help you experiment with your breathing, your sound, your support, kind of getting all of that going. If you have any other really cool, unusual ideas, obviously, as usual, post them below. I also want to just take a moment to really invite you guys to find me and support me on Patreon. This is a space where you can support me financially for the videos that I do. I love doing them, I'm happy to do them, but obviously I would like to upgrade, especially my equipment and my possibilities to make these videos more and more awesome. So if you want to support me, links below. Until then, everybody, happy practicing and see you next time.